Hi guys, welcome back to the Spurred On podcast. It's Monday, had a bit of time to let the dust settle on the Wolves 2 Tottenham Hotspur 1 Premier League game. I'll just start, as per usual though, by saying if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, please do also go over and subscribe or follow on any of the podcast platforms you use, be that Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts or Spotify. If you could do that, it would really help me in terms of making regular content for you. Equally, if you are listening on one of those podcast platforms, please do come and subscribe to the YouTube channel too. It's youtube.com/@BarnabySlater_. And you following me and giving me support is what enables me to make daily content for you. Today we're going to do the 5 things we learnt segment from that game. As I said, or if you saw my match review on Saturday afternoon, it was a downbeat game. It was a tough watch. It was difficult. I think we've had a very, very good start, and therefore it can make it more difficult to take when you get a bad week, and we definitely did have a bad week. Of course we did. The Chelsea loss 4-1 at home, hard to take, but almost harder to take was the injuries and the suspensions that came from that. And then, of course, the Wolves lost too. But I'm choosing to at least start this 5 things we learnt segment by being a bit more positive, or trying to be positive. And number 1 in my 5 things we learnt and trying to keep it positive is that Destiny Udogie's 1-match suspension has now gone. Now, you may think, that's basic. Why is that worth talking about? But the reason it's worth talking about is because I think we really got shown up with our lack of kind of luck almost in the left-back situation at the moment. I think we got 4 left-backs out, injured or suspended that game. So Sessegnon, Perisic, Udogie, obviously. Maybe one other that I can't remember at the moment. Obviously, Ben Davies could have played there, but he was playing in the middle, so we couldn't play him there. We missed Destiny Udogie badly. It's incredible how important he's become to this team, despite the fact he's only 20 years old. He's not played much senior football. I guess he has, considering his age, but certainly not as a fullback. When he was at Udinese, he was solely played as a wing-back. And actually, ironically, that's why I think Paratici bought him, because he thought of him as a long-term solution to our left wing-back issue under Antonio Conte. But under Big Ange's coaching this season, Destiny Udogie's play at left fullback has been unbelievable, and his ability to play that inverted central midfield fullback role when we've got the ball is so key to the way that we play, especially with the ball attacking, and we really missed that on the weekend. I think I gave Emerson Royale a 5 in my post-match review. Maybe I overdid it a little bit. I don't think he played well, but he did make some good clearances and interceptions. But I just thought he wasn't great. One thing that did annoy me about him actually was a couple of times he went down under 50-50 challenges and kind of pretended to be injured, and it put us under pressure on the counter-attack. And that really frustrated me. And I think there was a part where Big Ange actually shouted at him to get up as well at one point. I don't like that kind of thing. It doesn't help us, and it's not thinking about the team. But yeah, maybe he was worthy of a 6. Maybe I was being a bit unkind, but I was just annoyed in the moment. But with Udogie back for the next game at home to Aston Villa, it means when we've got the ball, when Dyer and Davis have got the ball, assuming that they will carry on in the 2 centre-half roles, Udogie can give them that option to take the ball on the half turn and set us and kind of take it in the midfield, give it, and then maybe go for a return and cause dangers going down the flank. So I'm very excited that Udogie's going to be back. Also, I think he's had a little bit of, maybe more play than he thought he would. Maybe he's been carrying a few knocks, and the fact that he will have had kind of 3 weeks out completely will mean that hopefully he'll be at full health and back. And I think that is an exciting addition to the team in the next game, when, of course, we know we'll still have Romero out for his second of the 3-game ban, and, of course, no Van der Ven and no James Maddison. So we need every bit of positivity we can get, and Destiny Udogie being back in that side and giving us more attacking threat and making the opposition worry about us more will be important. My second thing that I felt we learned, that I want to say, keeping it on a positivity trip, is that although it was a tough watch, the reality of Saturday was we very nearly got a result. I mean, frankly, we very nearly got a win against a team at a place where Man City have lost this season and Newcastle have only drawn this season. And I think other clubs will go to Wolves who are in around us in the league and get beaten. We very nearly got a result, and that, for me, is as a result of the positivity and the good coaching of Ange Postecoglou, because the reality of the team on Saturday is that of the 13 outfield players who played for Tottenham on Saturday, only one of them was an Ange Postecoglou signing, and that was Brennan Johnson, and he scored. So the reality of it is that Postecoglou has improved us so much that we nearly went and got a result there despite 5 changes to the first 11, and very few of those players being players that Ange actually wants in his squad or has chosen himself for that squad because of the attributes that they have and the way that they are able to play in his system. So that shows that we've got the desire, we've got the determination, they want to fight for each other, and in the end, I think it was just some kind of bad luck meets naivety in that last 5-6 minutes after the 90 minutes. I think it was Ashley Williams I saw on Match of the Day calling it naivety, and I did predict that it would be determined to be naivety, that we were still trying to play the ball out from the back in those last 7 minutes of stoppage time. But that is the way Ange wants them to play, and he would say we've got far more chance of scoring the second goal, and killing the game off than we have of conceding a goal, or maybe the way he'd put it is we've got as much chance of conceding a goal by hanging on our 6-yard line and playing defensive the way we would have done under Conte or Mourinho as we have of scoring the second and putting the game to bed. They're the risks he wants us to take. That's the way that Ange ball is going to be. And we as Tottenham fans did not like it when we had Mourinho and Conte and Nuno and playing it defensively. So we've got to take the rough with the smooth when it comes to Ange ball. Maybe it's a good thing that we've had that so early in this season, kind of, our 11th game, and we've had the position where we were winning the game 1-0 and we conceded 2 late goals to lose that game. Maybe the fact that it's happened earlier means we will learn from it a bit. I don't think this would happen, but maybe it would benefit Ange if he was able to say, okay, the only time I'm willing for you to be a bit more defensive is if we're 1-0 up away from home when the crowd's on our backs in a game and we just have to see it out. Maybe then you can play the ball down the channels into the corners and not try and play it out. But I don't think he will. And as a result, I think we just have to be open-minded to the fact that often in those situations, maybe some of that short passing we were trying to do will come off and we'll make another chance and we'll score the goal that kills off the game. So that's my positive spin on it. Linking to that is my third point today, which is by the time we next play a league game at home to Aston Villa on the 26th, it will only be a month and 5 days until the January window opens again. That is huge. I mean, it'll be a difficult month, don't get me wrong, because the next game after Aston Villa is Man City away. But once that month is gone, we are able to buy more players that Ange wants. Now, don't get me wrong, January is an incredibly difficult time to buy the players you want. But Ange seems confident in his press conferences that the work is going on behind the scenes to bring him players that he can then sign off on or not to make this squad better in the way that he needs it for his style of play. And the fact that that's only a month away when we play our next game is very exciting. Now, to temper that, obviously, in that month of January, we will lose Basuma and we will lose Pat Matasar. And I think there's an Asian Cup coming up as well at some point, which Sonny will play in. So we are going to have our squad stretched even further. But they've said that Van der Ven and Maddison will be back in the new year. They haven't said when in the new year. Hopefully, it'll be sooner rather than later. It seems like neither of them need surgery. Not that I've heard about yet, so that's good. But, January hopefully will come quicker. And if we can pick up some good results before that, I have a feeling we can beat Villa. I really do. It won't be easy, but I think we can. And then City's a bit of a no-lose gamble. You just go there and see what you can do. Stranger things have happened. Brentford won their last season. But let's just pick up some results over these games, keep in that race for the top 4, and then get our players back in January and get some new additions to the squad in January. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about, I think we learned a really good 30 minutes for Rodrigo Bentancur. He's going to be massive for us. He's going to be playing more for us over the next few games than I imagined he would, and getting some minutes into his legs was vital. He's not going to be back to full pace anytime soon, and we're just going to have to use him because we've got injuries. Basuma is out the next game as well. So there are going to be more chances for him than probably he thought he would get at this stage, and also there are going to be big chances for Skippy and Lo Celso. I was pretty happy with Lo Celso when he came on the other day. I thought he did well. He always shows for the ball. He's got great technique. Now we just need to get some belief in him and make him believe that he can be the key part of this team creatively over the next few games. He's going to get the opportunities. We're going to have to need it because we were a little flat in midfield creatively on Saturday, and we're going to need more against Villa. My final thing that I think we learned or we need to talk about, I think it's important for us to be realistic at this stage. We're way ahead of the curve. We're ahead of the 8 ball from where any of us thought we would be. I think all of us would have been relatively pleased if we were 10th or 11th, but just showing some signs at this early stage under Ange of learning how to play his kind of football. They're doing so much better than they thought they would be doing, or we thought they would be doing. And it's going to take a few transfer windows for Ange to get this squad exactly how he wants it. So let's not be too negative. Let's be realistic about it. Think about Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. His first season, when he had players like Lallana, when he had players like Nathaniel Klein, he had to deal with those kind of players before getting them out over a series of windows and bringing in the players he actually needed for his style of play. We've got to trust that with Big Ange. Let's not get too upset. Let's just realise we're doing very, very well, and we're still going to get some results even while we've got these injuries and suspensions. I'm positive about that. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Am I completely wrong? Am I being idiotic? Let me know and I will reply. Also, any questions you've got, I'm going to do a Q&A podcast quite soon, so send in any questions in the comments and I'll try and answer those. As I said at the beginning, please do like, comment and subscribe on YouTube, and if you're watching on YouTube, please do also go over to the podcast platforms and give me a follow or subscribe there on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts or Spotify. Guys, thanks so much for watching and listening. Come on, you Spurs.